welcome to a special edition of Frontline. We're here at the NRB in Orlando, Florida, and we're having a great time. And don't forget about our sponsors, Freedom Square, that are really doing a great job. Get their app and get on to the next level. We have some wonderful guests with us today. Actor, director, producer David A.R. White and Brian Bosworth, great actors and great people in Pure Flix, and who are in Revelation Road. David, Brian, good to have you guys on the show today.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Tell us, how did you get into the Revelation Road series, and what brought you into that? What got you interested in doing that kind of thing?
Yeah, the coolest thing about, well, it's almost been 11 years since we did the first one, and years ago. That's how I met Brian, and I've always been a fan of the end of the world, Mad Max type these movies, and we were able to do it in the faith-based world in a different way, and there's so much biblical principles, taking different things from the book of Revelation and putting it into an action-packed story is something that you don't always see in faith-based movies, and the original Revelation Road came out, and that's how I met Brian. It was great.
Brian, it's good to have you on the show today. How did you get involved with all of this?
Well, I got pursued by Pure Flix, and David told me to try to sell me on it, because at the time, in early 2011, 2012, I was kind of on my way out of Hollywood. I was kind of wanted to put everything behind me and start a new chapter in my life. And my agent called and said, I have a particular script that's tailored for you. They seem to want you very, very much in the movie. And I kind of told him I wasn't really interested. He begged me, just read the script. And before he got off the phone, he said, I got to warn you, or at least advise you, that it's a Christian movie. Now, I just kind of rolled my eyes, because nobody knew at that particular time where I was in my journey.
Yeah.
And I read the script, first part of it, and I was like, put it down and called it back and said, I don't know, maybe you sent me the wrong script, because this does not read like a Christian movie. And I said, what role am I supposed to play? And he explained the role, and I said, okay, well, that mimics my life right now. So God must have put this in my lap for a reason. And I took the challenge, and it was a wonderful experience.
You went through some deep waters early on in your life, lots of controversy, lots of things, but then you encountered God. Can you share that a little bit? What happened with you?
Well, it's not like I didn't know God. I knew God early. My grandmother introduced me to the relationship that was there probably when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, spending time with her and my grandfather on their farm. And I understood that there was a relationship there if you chose it. And then, as young men do when they grow up, they become independent, a little bit bravado. I got into sports, sports was my passion.
Right.
At some point in time, I got a little bit arrogant, and I felt like, well, God's given me the gift, and I don't really need his help anymore. So I asked him to take the training wheels off, and I think I got it. And that was my first mistake. And then, once I lost my career, it really began this long-standing grudge with him. And that lasted for 20 years.
Wow.
So it really was one of those, he's going to chase you, but he really wants you to open the door.
Hey, David, what makes you think that he would have been a great fit for this Revelation? I mean, where did that come from?
They just wanted somebody that could ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's the leader of this biker gang who has an anger problem. Hey, Brian Bosworth is perfect for that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you know what? We're so this is cool because we did 3 movies, and it has been about 6 years since the last movie, and people really identified with this series of movies, and have been asking, when is the 4th installment coming? And that's where the series came out of, is going, okay, we're actually going to do a whole series, picking up from there. You don't have to have seen the movies before if you haven't seen the show, or if you haven't seen the movies, you don't have to see them before you see the show. And so, yeah, we're just excited. We spent 3 months in South Africa. I also, Brian remarkably said yes again last year, and we had a good time.
Glutton for punishment, Brian. So tell us, for those who have not seen Revelation Road, have not seen the series, what is going on there? Where do we find ourselves, and kind of set the tone for the film?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question.
Well, it's post rapture.
Yeah,
I think that was the thing that really it was exciting for me because understanding the revelation time, but then actually seeing it really kind of opened my eyes because working on the film and reading the scripts was one thing, but then once I saw the finished product, and the very first Revelation Road, it just wowed me. It was like, wow. This could happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month.
Right.
And I kept telling everybody at the time, because I was trying to figure out where I was. Have you booked your ticket? Are you going home? I know I wasn't because that was a choice that I had made. But at some point in time, I just realized, man, I really would like to find out how to book that ticket, and knowing that all of this could change in a heartbeat and being unsettled with yourself and your relationship, not only earthly relationship, but with your heavenly relationship. It's something you really should look even hard into the mirror and ask yourself, what are you doing to keep yourself from finding your way home?
Yeah, I mean, you're actually actors and you're doing series, you're doing movies, but you're actually projecting something that could possibly happen on our planet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of Revelation Road really takes, it's one man's journey through the book of Revelation, basically. And so it's this guy has special skills. He was a lab rat. He but in the process of it, he also was not taken at the during the rapture, and so it picks up just like Mad Max. After that, the world is a disaster point, and where in the world do they go, and how? And now he has this faith, and where does that take him through? And so the series is really about there's a guy, the main bad guy, Boz and our characters team up, which is, that was left at the end of the movies. It's like, we hated each other. But now there's a common goal is the Antichrist, basically, and how do you take that? How do you take him down?
The enemy of my enemy, right?
Yeah.
So you guys get together and you're going against the Antichrist.
We do, yeah. There's a whole crew. It's kind of like, it's if you took Empire Strikes Back, you took Mad Max, and then you took maybe even your faith-based book, and you throw them all together, the Book of Revelation, even better. And it's a pretty exciting series. It's something I think that the faith-based world, I've been in it a long time, really has not seen, and we got to give credit, to Gabriel Sabeloff is the writer,
right,
and the a director, and he's such a brilliant mind that I believe that the Lord really has used and is using in a powerful way.
No, absolutely. Interestingly enough, I talked to Mel Gibson and Sam Elliott about they were making the movie We Were Soldiers at Fort Benning when I was on active duty, and he was talking about other movies that he was going to be making. This movie about Jesus, faith-based stuff. He said it wasn't going to have any English language in it. I go, that's going to be weird, right? But you know how that came out, right?
It did okay.
And Jim Caviezel, Jim Caviezel is really into the end times, and all these things seem to be converging in the faith-based industry. And let's be honest. Early on, the movies weren't that good in the Christian industry. We all know that.
And not the Revelation Road movies. Those movies were always very, very, very good.
I'm not talking about you guys, but earlier than that.
Yeah.
But they have really improved, and people are really interested in faith-based. And you're connected with Pure Flix, of course. Tell us about that journey. About Pure Flix and how things are coming along, and the interest that people are having now in these kind of movies.
Yeah, I mean, we're very, very fortunate. Pure Flix was started in 2005 by myself and two other guys in a garage, who really had the same heart that there were different Christian filmmakers all over, but nothing was uniting them or allowing a conduit to putting this content out. And so we became not only just a production studio, but also a distribution studio. So it's been amazing to see the run over the last 17, 18 years, and we started the SVOD. And for if you don't know what an SVOD is, it's the streaming video on demand, which is basically Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Pure Flix.
Yeah.
And that started in 2015, and then 20, we ended up, came and partnered with Sony. And so, there's over 10,000 titles on that platform. And if you haven't seen it all, they're safe for the family to watch, but actually there's action, there's drama, there's comedies, there's, the whole array of things for hopefully to lead people to higher levels of insight to who God is and the purpose that he has for their lives through the powerful medium of film.
Yeah, we write about this in our books, and you're talking about this now. A lot of people think, oh, I've got to be full-time ministry to do ministry. I've got to be a pastor. I've got to be an evangelist. But you guys are doing ministry. If you're touching the world, or church pastors cannot touch them. So you're going into another realm. You're going into people's homes, and they're inviting you in. How does that play out in your own journey in faith, Brian?
Well, I think we're meeting people where they are, and we're allowing them to kind of reflect on their journey. I usually use these 4 questions: where are you from, where are you at, where are you going, what are you willing to give up to get there? And as life goes, we get so much chaos in our life, and then as we look around us, the destruction and just the general chaos that life throws at us each and every day, it makes it really difficult to find peace. And well, given all of the things that David was just talking about with whether it be a rom-com or drama or an action film, there's always something where people can connect and identify, especially like with the Revelation Road. I connected with that. I understood the violence of the world. I understood the violence within my own self, and how to come to grips with that, and how to control that, and not let that control me. So I think being able to connect with people where they're at helps them understand, what do I do next? What's the next step for me, so that I can evolve and have a better and more peaceful life.
No, absolutely. And it seems like you're on that journey, and it continues. What's next in the series, in the Revelation Road? What's going on in the future that people can tune into and look at?
Yeah. Well, this series comes out. It's called the Revelation Road, the series, and it comes out in September. And we're, there's 7 full length, hour full lengths. So it's a lot of Revelation Road. And it's quite a journey too. It talks about all the seals that are breaking in it, in the process of this, in this quest for survival in the end times. And so, yeah, we're super excited about this and super excited to share it. And yeah, it's I think it's something unlike that we've seen before.
I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of our viewers will. So tell us some things. You've got some skills in this movie.
We have some skills. Yeah.
Tell us a little about them skills. Where do those skills come from? And you have some.
I went to the Brian Bosworth School of Survival. He taught me a few things.
You can have some pretty hairy things in the Revelation Road.
Yeah, we do. We have there's like I think in the 3 months that we were in South Africa, I think I had a fight scene like every 2 days. So it was like, whether they were swords, knives, guns, just whatever, just a beat down, like just there were all kinds of things going on.
In reality, did you have to do some special training to do that kind of fighting?
Yeah, I was a martial artist for many years, all through my 20s, and so and I've done quite a lot of action stuff over the years as well. So I enjoy it. It's a process. I don't enjoy like strained knees or or ankles or the things that can go wrong in the process of it. But it's a lot of fun. And so, yeah, but, yep. We're excited too. We're about to roll into production on the God's Not Dead 5, the 5th installment. And so it hits Easter. It'll be out theatrically in Easter. And, it's called, God's Not Dead, In God We Trust.
Looking forward to that too. We did have Kevin Sorbo on the show a few months ago, and he was talking about the rise of the Antichrist. So that's right into what you guys are doing here. So there seems to be some connectivity to all these kinds of things going on.
Yeah.
Is Kevin in the next movie coming up? Or?
No, I mean Kevin's character passed in the first movie, so it's kind of hard to bring him back. Although I think we'll see. You never know.
Well, in movies, you can write it
You
back.
sure can. Certainly in soap operas, you can, but movies are a little tougher to bring dead people back.
And Brian, in your own personal journey in Revelation Road, has this series done something for you personally that you think, hey, just some things I have changed with because I'm doing this character? Has that informed your life, doing the character?
Well, yeah, it actually gave me permission to come home. So on March 3rd, 2013, I came home. I ended my grudge with God, and it bring me back to salvation. So it's been extremely instrumental as far as that concerned, because I was not looking forward to the last half of my life.
Wow, that's interesting.
So timing was everything. Like I said, I was on my way out. I was going to a different location, just simply because I was fed up with what I was at that particular time in my life, and I didn't see that being where I was gonna get me any further. So I was gonna go explore and try to figure out who I was and where I was in my life. I'd already recognized myself in the mirror and just said, okay, that's who I am. And it took this mirror to kind of like remind me, hey, you do have a choice.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can turn your life around. And then you can impact people. But that's something that you're going to have to do.
I love to actually, when the first movie came out years and years and years ago, Brian called me and he said, hey, I want to take this movie and I want to play it in theaters in casinos. And I was like, what? And he's like, hey, would you mind if we do this? And I was like, well, I mean, we've never done that before, but sure. And he did it. He like booked like a 23 city tour in different casinos around Oklahoma.
It wasn't all casinos. My thought was, because I had this dream, this very visceral dream when I woke up, and I thought, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. But it was me taking the film on tour. For some reason, I didn't know why, and I immediately thought that I was born in Oklahoma. I spent a lot of time in Oklahoma at the time I was living in Austin, and I still live there in Austin. But I felt like, well, I need to take it home and show people. And I kind of thought, well, where am I going to find the most sinners? And I thought, well, because people are in there kind of wandering around lost. Not that that's necessarily correlates to sinners and people, but I know that they have the auditorium and the masses, and and I kind of thought, well, they can put up on the marquee movie night with the Boz or whatever.
Right.
That's where it started, but that's not where it ended. It ended up showing the film, and in most cases, either in small communities, in their small theaters. It was actually very symbolic of the way Jesus kind of walked around and said, I'm going to give my message. It's not going to be in the largest auditorium, but it's going to be where people are going to congregate and looking for something, an answer. I'm here to give them the word.
Our books, our ministry, our show is all about preparing people for the end times. It's called, and our motto is Battle Ready. And I think that's what you guys are doing. Whether or not it's entertainment for sure, but it's also making people think about, if this really were to happen, how do I prepare for that? Does that ever cross your guys' minds?
I mean, I think that's the thing about these movies is that ultimately, you hope that they're based in organic storytelling, organic characters. And you drop those characters in different situations like the end times, and where do they go from there? How do they how after? I mean, it's an interesting look at if Christ literally has taken his grace off of the earth, how in the world do those believe? How do those people who are pursuing God survive? And then you throw them in this heightened situation, where you have the most insane characters. I that's what I love about about Christian movies at the core, is that ultimately, in Hollywood movies, I saw a movie recently, when you walk out of the theater and you're like, that was like 3 hours long,
Wow.
but I don't really know what I got out of it other than, there was some funny lines in the whole thing, and it was entertaining for that moment. But I think the blessing and what makes faith-based movies special is they stay with you for years and years and years, and something, because ultimately it's grounded in the word of God, and God says, my word will not come back void, no matter what. Those things, they stick with our heart. Obviously, we hope that we teach them to our children, and that they stay with them as well. My parents did it with me, and and for that, I'm so proud of the Revelation Road series. It was an honor to the fact that we started this 12 years ago. I never in a million years, I grew up watching the Boz. I know he still looks amazing, but
How many years ago? No,
well, exactly. No, but I mean, the interesting thing was that I was born in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I was an OU Sooner fan, and,
Wow.
and there was nobody ever in the, Adrian Peterson came out of there too. They've certainly had some good people come out of there.
Yeah.
But at the time of growing up, that, I watched the Boz on that. And so, and the irony that I think that the Lord brings things around, from a kid from Kansas who then, graduated from Kansas, to be able to make this movie, and then to be able to meet Brian and ultimately have a friendship with Brian in the way that we do. But at the same token, then to pick it up 10, 12 years later, and then go to South Africa and do this series and continue it on, because the fan base has been so big for these movies.
Absolutely.
Is extraordinary, especially in our marketplace. And that's what's exciting, is to see where it all goes.
Well, gentlemen, we really appreciate you coming on. I know you guys are busy, but thanks for telling our viewers about what's really going on. I'm going to encourage our viewers, everybody who's watching the show, and it'll be produced and edited, and it'll go out to a lot of different platforms and TV. But I want all the viewers to go and see Revelation Road, watch the movies, see the TV series, and just let your faith be informed by what's going on in the world right now. So thank you, everybody, for coming. And I just have a quick question for everybody. Are you battle ready?